Thank you, everyone. I want to put a plug out. It's good. I got to put for those who follow Big Ten basketball, I got to put a plug out to my friend Bill Shrewsbury. Bill's son is the head coach of Penn State. And they won last night, and they play tonight.
Yes.
So, yeah. So I just think that's really kind of neat. So, but anyway, I want to get started. My full report is on our website, so you can read it if you desire. But I just want to hit some highlights of it. And the first part of the report is about building sound city finances. And I got to give a shout out to our clerk. In a Class 3 city, you got to have a fiscally conservative clerk. You got to. And Jim is very conservative. And it's good. He's done a good job. This is, we're halfway through. Are we halfway through? And he's caught on. It generally takes the clerk about 4 years to figure out what they're doing. He's caught on. He's a quick learner, and we're grooming him for other stuff down the road. But anyway, I remember back in 2012 when I stepped into the mayor's office, we had a corporate fund balance of about $240,000. And we were in trouble. And we had to claw and claw and claw, but it finally started getting better. And I want you to know that in 2012, our corporate fund balance when we started was $240,000. In 2021, when we started, our corporate balance was $5.2 million. So we're doing good. This year, the beginning of 2022, our corporate balance start was $7.3 million. So our council has done well. We're not spending more than we're taking in, and there's a little money set aside, and that all derives from the clerk. So Jim's done very well with this, and I appreciate the financial condition that the city is in. We were really in trouble back when we started. The AV, assessed value of our city, when I walked into the mayor's office was $325 million. Terrible. 12 years prior, it was $504 million. So not only did we not have any money, the value of property in Beech Grove was going down. So when we started, it was $325,000, and the assessor certified it this year for $522 million. So there's growth, a lot of growth in Beech Grove, and that has also allowed us to lower taxes. 5 out of the last 6 years in this city, the taxes have gone down. And 7 of the last 10 years, the taxes in Beech Grove have went down. Our taxes are still way too high, but we're trying. In 2021, we gave cost of living adjustments to every employee, 2%. So that puts us, as of 2021, over 20% base salary increase since 2012. And I'll talk more about the police later on in the report. And our redevelopment commission had taken out a large amount of debt in 2006 and 2007, and they really basically became strapped. So in January of this year, the RDC and Jim paid off the final bond payment, so the RDC, as of right now, has no debt. The civil city of Beech Grove has one more bond outstanding, and I think in the first quarter of '23, that gets paid off as well. So the city, for the time being, the civil city of Beech Grove and the RDC will not have any debt. We were able to receive funding from the federal government, and some cities wouldn't take it. We took it. We took a CARES Act. We got about $200,000, and we were able to replace. Jim did it. He replaced our entire computer system citywide, except for the police. They had already done it, and we have in place a brand new telephone system to where employees can remotely work from home. And that was one of the spin-offs of COVID. COVID was terribly, terribly difficult for our city. And we had to come up with ways to protect employees and allow employees to work from home. The governor's office, Governor Holcomb put out some orders that helped us. So non-essential employees were allowed to work from home, which was a big asset for us. But some employees can't work from home. Police, fire, EMS, the guys in DPW, they can't work from home. They have to be on the job. And we've got to do whatever we can to protect them. So our mantra kind of shifted a little bit. And Angel out here at the center, Stephanie at the senior center, they changed their roles a little bit. COVID caused many problems besides illness. It caused food insecurity. So these ladies took on more of a challenge, operating food pantries, cooking for people, delivering food for people. So that changed the way we operated. And I wasn't going to interrupt anything they did because they do good work and people are hungry. People are still hungry today. When you walked in today, you seen all kinds of food laying around on tables. That was from a food pantry. Every Wednesday night they have a food pantry. On the other side of that wall, people come in and get food. No questions asked, right, Angel? Yeah, and then they serve hot meals on Wednesday. And on Thursday mornings, they have a hot breakfast. So those are some of the things that COVID has caused us to do. We have some wonderful civic groups in this city, the Chamber being one of them, our friends at Servant's Heart, the Lions Club, the Promoters Club, our Drug-Free Coalition. They were all impacted by COVID. Last year, the city paid for the fireworks, and it was done to get things going again. We got to get back to normal. I'm over COVID, and I want it to be like it was 2 or 3 years ago. So the city paid for the fireworks. The city paid portion of Music on Main, and it was all done to jumpstart and get things going. This last Monday, our council presented a check to the Lions Club, to the Promoters Club, and to the Drug-Free Coalition. Each organization got $7,500, and it's to be used to help people in Beech Grove. Our friends at Servant's Heart, they have a greater need, and we are going to address that issue. There's a new van out here for Angel and the staff at Hornet Park. The purpose we bought the van was to go get food. So it's sitting out here. You'll see it when you leave today because they didn't have anything. So now they have a big van that will help them go get food because we still have a food insecurity. So I'm very happy about that. I'm passionate about you can't learn and you can't think if you're hungry. So we're going to continue to do that. Our infrastructure continues, I think it continues to get better. We just received some more funding from the NDOT, from the Community Crossings Grant, so we're getting ready to start paving more roads. And I think, I'm not for sure on this, but I think this will put us over 90 roads that have been paved in the last 10 years. So we're doing good. I don't know if you've noticed it or not, but our carbon footprint has changed. We replaced all of our streetlights. AES replaced 795 streetlights. It cost the city $300,000. But the city now is saving $4,000 a month on their light bill for streetlights. And it is a better light, and we are more conscious of the environment. I don't know if it was Diane or someone mentioned the Clean Community Challenge. About 4 or 5 years ago, I wanted to sign up with NDOT for the Clean Community Initiative. It is a very stringent program established by IDEM for the purpose of protecting the environment. And we had to do several initiatives to meet this objective. So Beech Grove now is one of the, I think only about 18 or 20 cities in Indiana that have met IDEM's gold standard for environmental protection. So that's opened us up for all kinds of funding. And as a matter of fact, we met yesterday, and IDEM now has 2 or 3 communities that they go to as guinea pigs when they want to roll out new programs, and Beech Grove happens to be one of those cities. So I'm very happy about that. We should be good stewards of the environment, and we are. I can't stand trash. I go pick it up all the time, and the city has to be clean. So I'm very happy about that. Our friends in the Lieutenant Governor's office through Okra has awarded us $600,000, and we just finished up rehabbing and lining 3 miles of sewer pipe. So that was a wonderful initiative for the city. And it will help about 450 residents throughout Beech Grove with backups and everything. So our city, our DPW, we have, and you guys know this when you drive, if it snows, you'll know when you get into Beech Grove because it's much clearer. And we don't have a whole lot of potholes, and that's one of the ways that we judge how we're doing road-wise is we base it on the hot patch machine that we have that goes out, and the less it goes out, the better off we are. And so we are doing well road-wise, but we can always do better. But what I think the main message that I wanted to talk to you about today is if you really paid attention to government here in Beech Grove, there has been some big changes over the last year. Big changes. And let me talk about the first one, the merger of the Indianapolis Fire Department and the Beech Grove Fire Department. It's not consolidation. I told them I would not consolidate our fire departments because we have one of the best ambulance services in central Indiana, and I'm not going to give that up. But if you really paid attention to what's went on in Beech Grove over the past 3-4 years, you'll notice that whenever there is a fire or a fire alarm, it's always the Indianapolis Fire Department that responds along with us and puts it out. You may not have picked up on that. Every single day, the Indianapolis Fire Department was in the city of Beech Grove. So I started talking with Chief Malone, and, and I told him, Ernie, this doesn't make any sense what we're doing. We're duplicating these services. I think we can save a little money, but I think we will vastly improve the service if we merge the two fire departments, the fire suppression division, not EMS. So we started working on it, and the fire departments merged in Christmas Day of last year. Some people, and you know what, it was one of the easiest things that was done from a public perspective. I had very little negative comments on it. And I would just tell people who were concerned about it that we're not giving up our fire department, we're making it a lot better. We do not have the resources to meet the needs of what the citizens are going to desire. So we merged. How much money are we going to save? I don't know. I tell people we're not going to save any money. We are going to pay the city of Indianapolis $3.3 million this year to provide fire protection. Okay? If we stayed Beech Grove Fire Department, that would be our budget would be at least $4.1 million. So, with this merger, we no longer have to worry about building fire stations. We don't have to worry about buying fire trucks. We don't have to worry about buying turnout gear, buying SCBA. We don't have to worry about overtime. We don't have to worry about FLSA, discipline, any of that. Pension, it's all taken over by the city of Indianapolis. We have had several calls from other cities throughout Indiana that are interested in what we did. We probably, with those two budget figures I gave you, that's probably an estimate of about 600,000, 700,000 savings just from line item budget. That doesn't include the public safety tax that the City of Beech Grove collects for police and fire. We are going to save probably $750,000, $800,000 as a result of this. As I said a minute ago, we're not going to save any money because it's going to be dispersed. So that right there is probably Jim, I don't know, 1.3, 1.5 million right there, right off the bat, without any intangibles. So what led to this, we talked about duplicating services, but I want you to think about this for a minute. Beech Grove is 4 square miles. It's completely surrounded by the city of Indianapolis. One of these days, we're not going to be able to do everything that we do right now because we can only draw so much from the taxpayers. Something's got to give. We have a wonderful school district in the city of Beech Grove. They draw from the same people we do. So the city is going to have to think out of the box. How can we make this work without losing services? The fire department is going to be better. And if you're back at your business and you're in Beech Grove and you see where there's a fire, you're going to see all Indianapolis apparatus. I mean, it's every day. We have a wonderful DPW. We have wonderful parks. But a decision that was made is that over the next 5 to 10 years, what is the main focal point of this city? What should it be? And I think it should be the police. we have to fortify our police department for the next 20, 25 years. If your son or daughter comes to you and says, I want to be a police officer, probably in today's environment, you're going to probably say, no, no. Police departments throughout Indiana can't find good applicants. People don't want to be a police officer anymore because of how they're perceived in the public, how they're treated in the public. We got to get away from that stigma. This defunding of the police is nonsense. So we have to make a concerted effort. We have to protect the people who live here, the people who do business here, and the people who visit this city. And if we don't, then we're going to lose. And in order to do that, we have to have a strong police department. So we have to get better pay. We have to get better conditions to work. They already have the best vehicles around. They already have the best equipment around. We've had flock cameras for 2 years. We just never told anybody. They wear body cameras. We just didn't announce it because we just did it. But we don't have the proper pay and we don't have the building. So, as a result of this merger, over the next 3 years, our police department will have the largest or the highest base salary pay in central Indiana. And we're going to build a new police station. Most of you have probably heard this. It's going to be down at the corner of Emerson and Main on the south side. We have to, not only do we have to pay these officers more money to retain them and attract candidates, but we also have to have good working conditions. And this building will suffice us for the next 20 to 25 years. So the decision has been made that we are going to invest heavily in our police department. Plus, and I will tell you that, to be honest with you, the location for the police department was really not my choice. It was a choice of the police chief. And he pushed and he pushed and he pushed. There wasn't a whole lot of resentment, but it also does something else for us. It also hopefully gives Main Street another boost. We want people to come to Main Street. We want people to invest in Main Street. We want people who own buildings on Main Street. I want their investment to go up. And I think the police station hopefully will do that. You'll be very happy with how it's going to look. We have a ribbon cutting, a groundbreaking ceremony, April the 1st at 11 a.m. You're certainly welcome to attend. The building will be named after Mayor Wiley, and his family will be there to do the groundbreaking. So that is the investment in our city for Main Street. Main Street, to me, is the most important street in our city. East of Emerson Avenue pays the taxes, pays the bills. So we focus a great deal on east of Emerson in the industrial park. Small business and residential property should not foot the bill for local government. It should be big business. Same way with the school, Dr. Hemming. So there's one more item with the shift in public safety, is we still have our ambulance service. And as a result of this, we now, for the most time, run 2 ambulances, which is a wonderful thing. We never used to be able to do that. So this has been going on since Christmas, and I'm real happy about it because the fire truck is going to come to your aid for EMS, but it's the ambulance that is going to save your life. So we have to have the best. And we do, and it's going to get better. And this funding has allowed us to make improvements to, it's now called Beech Grove EMS. We've ordered 2 new ambulances to service you, and we're just waiting on them to come in. I'm going to talk to you about how the city has progressed over the last probably 5 or 6 years. About 5 or 6 years ago, when we started this clean initiative, we started talking about doing programs for residents and to attract residents. So we did the clean initiative, and it talks about it's environmental, talks about trees, talks about trash, talks about recycling. Over 45% of our homes in Beech Grove recycle, and it doesn't cost you anything. It's part of your trash bill. And it's very simple. You just commingle your recycles, and every other week it gets picked up. Beech Grove is very walkable. Main Street, and the recycling's free. The walking doesn't cost you anything. And the trail. Amy talked about the trail. The trail is about 80% complete. It cost $3.3 million to build, and it's paid for. We had to pay for it before the construction started. But it's another amenity that people can utilize that's free. Doesn't matter if you walk, jog, have a stroller, run, walk your animal, ride your bike, you're welcome to come onto the trail. So you take all of these things over the past 5 or 6 years and you combine them. Okay, so now we got a trail, now we got recycling, now we have walkability at Main Street. Okay, who are we trying to attract to come to our city? Young people, millennials, who don't want to, who work downtown, they don't want to live downtown. They come out here 5, 10 minutes, 15 minutes from downtown. So we start seeing these things happen with real estate. And we never used to get calls about homes for sale. Now we get them. You know any homes for sale in Beech Grove? 10 years ago, you couldn't sell your home in Beech Grove. Now you can't put it on the market. A friend of mine last week moved to Tampa. He lived on Birch. He put his house up for sale, and he sold it in 17 hours. And they paid more than what he asked for it. So I know that's not just Beech Grove, but it's just indicative of, you know what, people want to come here. And I didn't know anything about it. Forbes magazine did an article on the city of Beech Grove 3 or 4 months ago, maybe, I'm not sure. And now Beech Grove is one of these communities that for first-time home buyers is ranked real high, like number 4 or something. I'm not sure, but you know, I heard about it. I ended up reading it, but I'd heard about it, and it doesn't surprise me. Not at all. So, because people want to move out here. Sister Mary Luke has an article about the Indianapolis Monthly. Came out in January and interviewed some Main Street business owners. So they never come to the mayor's office, and that's fine. That's fine. But I knew that already, that Main Street was doing well. And you can really appreciate it if you were here 8, 9 years ago when there was nothing there. So I'm very happy about it. The city is doing well. I'm just got it at some of the things that we are doing. I've never seen some of these figures like they are at the beginning of this year. We didn't lose anybody last year due to COVID. We paid every full-time employee that was with us when COVID started. We gave them a $2,500 stipend. And then we paid employees who were vaccinated. We never required a vaccination, but if you were vaccinated, you're eligible for reimbursement. So we have to take care of the people that serve us. So business, local business, and new business, probably in the last month, we have probably had at least a half a dozen new businesses that want to come to Beech Grove. We don't, we're running out of space, and these are good businesses. And you noticed, if you go down Main Street, you noticed the old Spotlight Theater. Said vacant forever. Now it was bought by the O'Gara family. They also bought Business Art Design, the business itself, and they bought the building on Emerson Avenue, right next to Culver's, the green building. So we've been working with those folks. The Spotlight Theater, the old one, they completely gutted it. You can imagine how bad it was. But they've completely gutted it, and if you drive by there now, you'll see the windows that are up. I talked to one of them last night, and they're intending to have it to be a showroom and banquet room for, then have Indy cars or some type of cars in there for display. I think it would be really neat. But that's going on. That's a major plus for Main Street. As I said a minute ago, the police station is at Emerson and Main. It's on the south side of Main. The north side, we also bought the parking lot on the north side to have overflow parking for Main Street and for the police station. We bought the lot where the police station is going, and then there's a building called Brown's Garage. We also bought that building. So the intent is, I'm not sure what the final intent is, but we're going to vacate that alley in there to add a little bit more security to the building. That's going on. Some of you have asked me about the Safeway store at 18th and Albany. That property was owned by a company out of New York. They also own the Dairy Queen building that has sat vacant forever. So anyway, a developer from Indianapolis they had an auction, and they were the successful bidder, and they purchased the property. It closed yesterday, and we meet with them again on Monday, but their intent is to tear all of those buildings down. And then they're not sure on what type of housing to put in there, but they want to put housing in there. And the Indianapolis master plan calls for mixed-use building, so it would be retail on the first floor, and then apartments or condos on the second, third, or fourth, however high they go. So we'll know more about it on Monday. It's in the TIF district, so I've invited some of the commissioners to come in and listen to this, but we've already had 2 meetings, so we meet again on Wednesday, and we'll have a plan to tear the buildings down and clean up the environmental issues. So that is really good news for the city. And one more thing I wanted to talk to you about is, I talked to you about how important our police are to us, what we've done with the fire department. But we also now have an aging infrastructure for sanitary sewer. And Citizens Energy Group maintains the sewers completely around the city of Beech Grove. And their main interceptor lines go through the city of Beech Grove. So the only thing that we actually do is we pay citizens to treat our wastewater. Okay. So our system's aging and getting older and older, and so we've decided to enter into an agreement to where Citizens Energy maintains our system. It only makes sense because we don't have the equipment, we don't have the vehicles, we don't have the people to adequately provide maintenance as to what the system needs. The system needs a lot more preventative maintenance than we can do. So our friends at Citizens are going to come out beginning April 1st, and they are also going to be doing troubleshooting when there's backups. So some of you, if you live in Beech Grove, you should have received a little flyer stating that. So if you have backups beginning April 1st, the number to call would be Citizens. It's a 24-hour number, 7 days a week. So the trail, there's a picture up here of the police station location. You're welcome to look at it. And then the Indianapolis MPO gave us $2.6 million to build phase 1 of the trail. Franciscan Alliance bought the naming rights to the trail. That was a really good investment. When the hospital was dismantled, what I want to say, people still hadn't forgotten their attachment to that hospital. And it's still probably the number one comment that I get is the hospital. So I think it's important for Franciscan Alliance to maintain their legacy in the city, so they bought the naming rights. So it's the Franciscan Trail. It's 2.2 miles. If you've been on it, I hope you liked it. If you haven't been on it, I invite you to walk it. I walk it all the time. I think it changes everything in this city. So the MPO, as I talked to the school board the other night, they have been very gracious to the city in the last 10 years. They just give us $1.9 million to extend the trail through the campus of the high school. So I don't know of any trail in central Indiana, especially Marion County, that has a greenway that goes through a high school campus. This is pretty good stuff. So I'm happy about it. I think the school board will be with us on it, and we'll be able to do something that nobody else has. Our friends at Roncalli, Dr. Manuel at U of I, at Southport High School, they all want funding for trails. Makes sense. And the last thing, this summer, I'll go ahead and apologize to the staff out here, but you've seen this driveway when you came in today, it's terrible. So that gets all torn out when school lets out, and it gets all redone. So there's quite a bit going on. And Michelle and some of her folks, when there's meetings downtown or somebody wants to come in and talk about locating to Beech Grove, they go with me, so I always like that because it's just, sometimes it's tough. My friend Mike Huber has done so much for this city, and I really appreciate it. They have been good friends of the city. So that's all I got. So anything else? Any questions? I'll take a question.
No questions?
If not, I ask you to pray for the people in Ukraine. It is a travesty. Thank you.